Morning. Namaste and Lakach Jayom Guru. Good morning, everyone out there in Facebook land. Just offering the opportunity to join in again for our Awakening Ascension Consciousness Apprenticeship morning class. This is our morning class. 7:30 in the morning here in central New York, upstate New York, a little northern New York even, I should say. We're kind of moving up a little bit north up here a little bit in the snow belt. So this is just a little something to allow people to, on Facebook here, for people to allow some time, some space to get schedules rearranged. So many people are struggling in the world, so I presented this system here, this particular system, to help us, to get us out of this sorrow and suffering, to get our lives going smoothly. So yes, a little time each morning, a little time each evening, dedicated to our source. So waiting for some of our members to join into our class this morning. So in the meantime, we can talk a little bit about how can you be a part of this course. You may want to be a part of it. Just get a hold of me. It's that simple. Just let me know that you're sincere about this. You really want to get your life in balance and under control. These teachings are guaranteed to do it. 100% guaranteed. If you do it, it'll work. And of course, naturally, if you don't do it, how could it work? So we're coming together, following our Guru's teachings, blended together with the dream spell astrology wisdom from the Mayans' teachings. Blending these energies and these ideas together to make our life happy, harmonious, and smooth. So we've started these courses, this apprenticeship. We have 2 classes in the morning and we're starting a class in the evening. So if you're interested in being part of it, well, the evening class is still open for people to join in. These classes in the morning, well, these classes have gone on to a point where we're getting into the lessons. We've already established our foundation. And now we're building on to this foundation. All of this sadhana, right? Sadhana, spiritual perseverance, our spiritual practice, our spiritual routine. And our life is going on the same foundation. So in the beginning, we spend a couple of weeks just establishing a foundation to build all of this on, our spiritual life and our worldly life, in a balanced way. You have to have a good, firm, solid foundation to begin it all on. You can't just, go anywhere, build a house on anything. You want to build a house in the sand? Well, then your house will end up falling down pretty soon if you don't make a foundation first. And so the same with our spiritual life. We don't want it falling apart later on. That's what I see so many people out there. They're struggling because they're trying so hard, and then later on it all falls apart. Well, I'd like to suggest that it's because they don't have a tested, proven, systematic plan to follow. We all wish that life came with an instruction manual. Well, it did. Guru made, Paramount Yogananda made that instruction manual for us, his lessons. Right? And the Mayans, they spelt out everything about how this consciousness evolves, everything about how anything comes into manifestation, how it all works in conjunction with each other, in harmony with each other. That's what it's all about. And so, if we want our lives to be in balance, we're going to have to work with these or some system that is a definite proven system. This system has been proven and it is working for people. We have people that have been doing this now for over 30 weeks, going on almost 40 weeks now, and they are experiencing the benefits. We have the second class, the one we're doing right now. We're on lesson 15 here, right? You can't just jump in the middle on lesson 15 with no foundation. So these groups are kind of, they're going along. So that's why we've started this evening group for those who can't come in the morning, for those who work days, right? That's how it is. So I'm trying to make it so everyone can get this. So if you want this, let me know. We'll work something out. I don't care. I'll do classes from 3 in the morning all the way until 3 in the morning again, if we need to. I have no problem. Glad to do it. So, everyone's welcome to join. This is free. I don't charge anyone for it. There's no fee. Okay, no fee. You can donate if you want. If you see some value in it, you can do that. But there's no fee. Everyone's welcome to be a part of this freely if they want to. Good morning, Kalahuni Nish. Welcome, welcome. Wonderful to see you this morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic as always. Thanks to God and Guru.
That's wonderful. I'm glad to hear it. I'm starting to feel like that too.
Making progress you are, huh?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Still have the occasional, wonky days, but I definitely feel like even in situations when I normally would be upset, I get feeling better a lot quicker, and sometimes I don't get upset at all.
Very nice. I liked how you said the wonky days. They're getting less and less, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, God. Thank you, Guru. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about. Bringing our life from out of control to under control, into balance, into harmony. It's kind of a slow process, right? We're on lesson, 15. So we've been doing this for several weeks now, and it's a gradual process. It's a subtle process. It's not a sudden, harsh change. We're not cracking whips and hurting people here. We're just letting this transformation occur, guided by our Guru, so that this transformation occurs the quickest way, but the least painful way, the smoothest way. That makes our life beautiful. Keep on keeping on, my dear. Eventually, it'll be like that. You'll forget what wonky days were.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome, my dear. And thank you for sharing that with us, because, this is the kind of inspiration that we need for those that are out in the world and they can't seem to figure out how to get it to work. They're trying all kinds of spiritual things. Now you are a great inspiration for them to see that there is something they can do that can actually turn it all around. Okay, well, then in consideration of time, because we only have so much time together, let's get started with what we always do first, right? Always first things first. Seeking the kingdom of God is always first. And the kingdom of God, it's within us, right here. That's what the saints and sages tell us. So where are we going to go to seek the kingdom of God? Within, in here, where the kingdom of God is. First, right? Guru says, if you want to do something important, first connect to source, then do whatever you need to do. That's what we do. So how do we do this? We sit in a comfortable meditative posture with an erect spine, on a chair, on the floor, anywhere is fine. We close our eyes. We put our attention at this point between our eyebrows, this center of all knowingness. And then we bring our hands into Namaste in front of our heart chakra. This is our center of love and compassion. We want to get our center of knowing and knowledge and reason, intellectuality connected with our heart chakra of love, compassion, understanding. We want to get these two most important centers connected. And relax. Just relax here with our eyes closed. We breathe a cleansing breath to start with. That means we breathe in through the nose, filling our lungs all the way up. Then we exhale through the mouth, releasing all of the breath, all of the thoughts, all of the tension, all of the worries. Let them all go with the breath. Then we breathe back in through the nose, this time very consciously, very deliberately, focusing only at this between our eyebrows and in our heart chakra. Feeling that cool, sparkling life force coming in, filling our lungs with life force in preparation for our Patanjali mantra and our morning prayer. Yogena Chittasya Adnevakeyam Balam Sarirasya Chavedakenya Yopakarotam Pravaramuninam Patanjaliam Pranjalir Anatosmi Abahu Prushakaram Shankhachakrasiddhaharinam Sahasra Sirasam Svetam Prananami Patanjali Anjali. Now all together we say Hare Then we keep our eyes closed and we start rubbing our hands, creating a good amount of heat in our palms. Then we place our warm palms over our closed eyes. Then we open our eyes into the warmth of our palms. Then we draw our palms away from our face just a few inches and look at the tips of our fingers and say Lakshmi. Look at the base of our fingers and say Saraswati. And then the base of our hands, we look at the base of our hands where it meets the wrist and say Parvati Gauri. Three aspects of our Heavenly Mother. O Mother, Friend, Beloved God, we pray the prayer at dawn with Thee. Thank you for praying the prayer at dawn with me. With the opening of the earliest dawn in the lotus buds, my soul softly opens in prayer to receive Thy light. Bathe each petal of my mind with Thy radiant rays. I saturate myself with the perfume of Thy presence, and I awake to waft with the breeze the aroma of Thy message of love to all. Bless me that with the spreading dawn I may spread Thy love everywhere. Bless me that with the awakening dawn I may awaken all souls with my own and bring them to Thee. Thank you, Mother, Father, Friend, Beloved God. Thank you. We love Thee. Oh. Nothing better. Okay, so
I liked it better that way. How you did it slower and you were really clear about what you were saying, because sometimes I really struggle to tell what you're saying. So doing it that way, I was actually able to tell what you were saying, so I was able to repeat it back better.
Yes, that's why yesterday, as I was saying, God was kind of guiding me that I needed to put a little more attention there for you guys because, maybe I'm doing it too fast or not clear enough or something wasn't right because I could feel something. We weren't really having a real connection here. I could feel it, And so, yeah, we'll slow it down a little bit. Did you get the mantra sent to you?
Yes.
Okay. So you see that I break it up a little bit more because we're trying to learn it, right? But that's okay. We'll keep refining it as we learn it, and we'll get better and better. And I leave that break in there, that pause. This is a call and response kind of thing, right? I call out it, and then everyone is welcome to respond by either out loud chanting back or in your head, repeating it in your head in this, and we're not saying it, right? We chant it. That's Sanskrit. So, yes, glad to, we don't want to rush through anything. And it's very important for us that we're not doing dogma, right? Dogma. Do we know dogma? Dogma means that you're doing something and you don't know why you're doing it. You're just doing it because somebody told you to do it, or you're doing it because you saw somebody else do it, but you don't know why, right? So many people are sitting and, meditating, with their index finger and their thumbs together on their lap, like this meditating, but they don't know that it's even called Chin Mudra. They have no idea that they're connecting the fire and the air element in their bodies. They have no clue of it. They're just sitting there because they saw somebody else do it, so they're copying them. We won't be doing any of that here. Not at all. Everything here, we will know exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it, where it came from, how it works, every detail about it. No dogma and no theory, right? Kriya Yoga is 0.0000%, 1%, 0.0001% theory, right? Almost no theory here at all. We're not going to sit here and debate over what you think it might be. We're going to get it directly from God realized teacher who knows what it is. And we're not debating about it. This isn't theory. This isn't dogma. This is actual experiential knowledge being shared so that you can have that same experiential knowledge for yourself, so that you can realize all of this for yourself. That's the real thing. We do the real thing. And for those who are ready and interested for the real thing, here we are. It's okay for those who are not. That's great. We love them too. We're not saying there's anything wrong with anyone, but we want to get down to it here. Okay? We're definite about getting connected to our source and keeping this connection, establishing this connection permanently, and taking with us everywhere we go our permanent portable paradise. The PPP. Permanent portable paradise. We're establishing that. Every day our life gets a little better and a little better and a little better. We start having less horrible days and more wonderful days. And finally the scale starts tipping the other way. Until finally we'll be like, when was the last time I had a bad day? I can't remember. Oh, I know we all want to be able to say that. So now that we've really gotten a little more connected to our source, and what I mean by getting a little more connected to our source is that we realize that connection. We can't get more connected to source than we already are. But that realization is what's lacking in it, right? So we want to realize this connection to source. And that's what we do that first. And then next, starting our day, we're going to want to figure out, what is this day about? What's going on with this day? What are the energies of this day? That's where the Mayan astrology wisdom comes in. And I got to go to the wall because I forgot to take the cards off the wall today. Here we go. I always keep them on the wall next to the calendar, always on display, so that I can see them all the time. I always see them. They're right here all the time. Kind of keeps it in my mind. You know, I, even if I don't realize I'm seeing it all day. And so, what is the tone and the frequency for today so that we can get in tune with the day and have our life go harmoniously? Well, we're looking at the 7th tone, ook, right? We've been talking about these tones and these frequencies, so we're kind of familiar with them. Ook, we see 1 bar, 2 dots. The 1 bar represents 5. The 2 dots are 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. And for the Mayans, it's not about 7 cars in a parking lot. Okay? For the Mayans, it's about, what is this energy? What is this ook like? This galactic tone that is going to have an influence on this solar frequency. Right? This galactic tone, ook, the 7th galactic tone, is that mystical tone that's in the center. It's about our mystical power, because this is the tone that is in what I like to call the sweet spot, and the Mayans call it, of course, the center. Everything for the mind is about being in the center, about being in balance, right? So, why is Ook in the center? Well, because there's 13 tones altogether. And if we lay them all out in front of you, this tone, this seventh tone, would be right in the middle. There would be 6 tones to the left and 6 tones to the right. And right in the center, right in the sweet spot, that's where we find Ook. It's very important. Even in the Zolkin, where there are 13 columns of 20 solar frequencies, that center column, that 7th column, is very much indicated as a very important column because it's in the center. It's the central mystic column is what it is referred to. And if you notice on the Zolkin, I'm going to show you the Zolkin right now. This is the Zolkin. If you notice in the Zolkin, okay, the 260-day Zolkin, we see those 13 columns, but we notice that central column, there is no black marks in that. Nothing's highlighted in this central column right here. That column, it's just too pure. It's just too sacred, right? It is that pure. We see 52 highlighted galactic signatures, but all of the ones in the sacred mystic column, none of those are highlighted because they're already highlighted by just being in the center. Okay? So this tone, it's about our mystical power, right? And remember we were talking about these tones are talking about the development process of manifestation, right? So we have to reach this sweet spot for our mystical power to start activating. We built that up in the first 6 tones. Now we're going to utilize that mystical power in the next 6 tones. So this galactic tone of Ook, which represents mystical power, the center, the sweet spot. We'll read more about it here in just a moment, but we have to put that idea together with this solar frequency of Ish, I-X, Ish. And Ish is the white wizard. Okay, it's white. White means it's a north energy. North refines. So this is a refining energy, right? White wizard. Right? When we say wizard, we start thinking about magic, huh? Well, that's what this energy is about today. Today is a magical day. Okay. And Ook is the real magician. Okay. Not the kind of magician that pulls a rabbit out of a hat. Okay. But a magician who knows how to allow magic to be and realize, and the real magician realizes that we don't create or make magic. We have to allow it and get in tune with it and be part of it to be what we call real magicians. So let's read in our Mayan Oracle about it that'll help us with a deeper understanding, to really understand what's going on here. So what we do is we combine that tone and that frequency, galactic tone of Ook, with the solar frequency of Ish, the white wizard. And so let's read about each of these. First, we read about the tone because that tone is going to tell us a little bit about how Ish, the white wizard, is going to be today, this day. Okay? Every time we see Ish, it's going to have a little bit of a different associated energy with it when it's with a different galactic tone. So first we read and find out what is this galactic tone about, and then we read about what is this solar frequency, and then we keep in mind the galactic tone that is associated with it. We combine those ideas to come up with our galactic signature for the day, which is the energy that we want to get in tune with so that our day can smoothly go along in perfect harmony. With practice, our life will keep getting this way more and more. So let's take a look at Ook, the seventh galactic tone, the tone of mystical power. And what are the qualities that describe this mystical power of Ook, the seventh galactic tone? Well, the qualities of Ook are about mystical alignment, right? That means we're right in the center. We're perfectly aligned. Ook is about self-acceptance. Ook is the technician of the sacred and direct communication with Source. Right? That's pretty heavy, isn't it? That's a serious energy. Direct connection to Source. Ook. So Ook is the resonant tone of attunement, the ray of mystical power, the foundation of the individual self, freed within the 2 points of reality, 2 points of polarity. Our soul calls forth our ability to decode the hidden mysteries. We can claim our mystical wisdom by acknowledging our personal relationship to our source. Right? Isn't this also what Guru talks about? Having a personal, intimate relationship with our source. Let us catalyze the mystical force of our 7 chakras to propel us to the region of divine illumination. Right? 7 chakras, right? We have 7 chakras. There's a clue. The consciousness of Ook puts theory to the test. Remember, we don't do theory here. We prove it. So this consciousness of Ook, it puts theory to the test, asking for practical application of our mystical power. Practical application of our mystical power. As a technician of the sacred, we integrate the polarities of worlds into an operant foundation, right? An operant foundation, an operatable foundation. We wear the 7-pointed star, symbol of master artisans. We can combine our feelings and intellect to transmute matter into mystical consciousness. Right? Isn't that what we do when we connect our third eye chakra with our heart chakra every day? We're practicing it already. We're living it. You know, standing in simple self-acceptance, you can craft a light body from the column of light in your spine. Right? This is a science that goes beyond technology. Let us open our lotus to the world. Remember, you are the gift. Accept yourself unconditionally, freed from the need for outside confirmation. We can stand open to our full mystical power. And we would be wise to align with the spinning mystery of the 7 chakras, 7 planets, 7 rays, 7 steps of the pyramid, the 7 stages of consciousness conjoined. Right? That's what that pyramid, that 7 steps of the pyramid represents, all of this combined, all 7 stages combined. So that's Ook. Any questions about it? We want to keep that idea in mind while we read now about Ish, the white wizard Ish, right? Let's learn about what real magic is. We're not playing here. This is serious business. We're investigating, learning, and then living a science that goes far beyond this idea of technology, all these wires and knobs and computers. We can go way beyond it. So let's take a look at Ish, the white wizard, right? And what are the qualities that describe this solar frequency energy of Ish? Well, Ish is about integrity and heart knowing. Ish is alignment with divine will. And Ish is the magician, the shaman, the jaguar, the night seer, the priest or priestess. And of course, Ish represents magic, but real magic. Okay? So let's find out what real magic is. We're not interested in pulling rabbits out of hats or doing what I call sleight of hand and tricking people. We want to do the real thing. So Ish is known by myriad faces. That means many different kinds of faces. Ish could be the sun runner, the torch bearer of the larger vision. Ish is the healer, the mystic builder, the initiator into the mysteries. Ish is also the magician, whose powers are activated by wisdom that emanate from the heart. Such wisdom is not the intellectual understanding known in modern culture. It is the wisdom that comes from an alignment with mind and heart. An open, trusting heart is a refined tool of perception, allowing ourselves to not know opens the door of the mind to a deeper understanding of the universe. Ish asks us to fully utilize this aligned mind to participate in magic, right? To participate in it, not to create it or make it, but to participate in it. That's kind of hinting to us that it's already here. We just want to be part of it. As Starhawk, the author of the Spiral Dance, says, he says, magic is the art of sensing the subtle, unseen forces that flow through the world, awakening levels of consciousness beyond the rational. Magic's dimensional doorway opens through simply being. It appears to be extraordinary, yet it can often be found within the ordinary if our eyes are open to seeing it. That's why Christ said, those who have eyes, let them see. Those who have ears, let them hear. When we realize that all possibilities exist, we understand what magic really is. when we see the world as thinly veiled to other realities, then magic is everywhere and always. Today, the portals of the greater reality are open. This is the long awaited time in which the magic of cosmic consciousness is descending into receptive hearts. Right? That would be you, Kalahuni Mish, here with your receptive heart receiving. As the embodiment of integrity, Ish asks that all tools, all powers, and all abilities be lovingly filtered through the intentions of the divine. In that light, a statement of empowerment for the magicians such as you is as follows. As a wise instrument of the divine, for the divine, I set myself free of my past and walk into the future now. With integrity, I stand in the light, in alignment with divine will. I know that whatever serves the larger vision also serves me, and I act in alignment with that knowledge. I understand that all things are possible, and from that knowledge springs my innate magicianship. In humility, my clear presence magnifies to include all abilities that appear magical to the limited consciousness. I am complete. All of myself dances around the center of my being in alignment with cosmic consciousness. I stand in unmarred correspondence with the original condition of the light. Whoa, it's a long affirmation, but it's a powerful affirmation. Try to write that one down. Keep that one in your pocket for a while and keep reading it because it is the truth. It's what you really are. And to realize what we really are, we may have to remind ourselves a few times throughout the day. A universal tool associated with the magician is the wand, which represents wisdom in the beneficial use of will. Will that is out of alignment with the divine looks outside of itself for answers and empowerment. So instead, look inside for guidance. Looking inside for guidance returns us to natural attunement and serenity. We can learn to utilize the wand to align our will with the divine, to focus and channel healing, wisdom, and love to others. Ish is also the architect, the diviner, the mystic builder, the geomancer, the astrologer, the mathematician, the shaman, and shapeshifter. Shape shifting may be seen as doing what is required in the moment. It is the act of changing of masks or appearances to serve the intention of the divine. Ish has the ability to move with the silent ease through the dimensions, slipping like a graceful jaguar, unnoticed through the so-called hole between the worlds. In the external world, Ish is the shaman, priest or priestess, and healer. Ish can appear to be many different things to different people. Another powerful symbol associated with Ish is the all-seeing eye, the eye of Horus. This is a symbol of entrance into other dimensions. Ish is a keeper of the flame of initiation into sacred ceremonial magic. Simply stated, initiation is a rite of passage into a more expanded hologram of existence, bestowing gifts and spiritual abilities. Ish is the initiator into the mysteries of lineage, the use of symbols and metaphors, and the evocation of divine archetypical energies. That's what we're working with here in this Mayan astrology wisdom. A science that goes beyond technology, beyond the physical. If we are seeking understanding about initiations, rites, ordinances, or even installation into offices, we can call upon Ish to guide and teach us. The energy of Ish also asks us to hold the light high. As a magician, you act as a torchbearer, a sun runner for the wisdom fire. You are able to move in the physical world on behalf of spirit and to travel into other worlds bearing the torch of the heart's wisdom. The energy of Ish asks us to be aware of the many realities in which we already exist. We are much more than we may be consciously aware of. Being a magician means taking the evolutionary initiative to become all that you are. Right now, you are walking into the future of your true identity. And Ish offers us initiation in crafting our dimensional light body, refining our magician's cape, so to speak, so that it becomes a sail, the means of transport through the vast sea of consciousness. Amish also invites us to step into self-empowerment. Right? This Mayan astrology wisdom, all of these teachings, it's going to get our power back. We're going to become fully empowered empaths so that we can make a change in the world. So that's what this energy is about. Stepping into our power. Empowerment comes from self-acceptance, integrity, and commitment to our evolution. Self-empowerment is not to be found outside of oneself. Anything from the outside that brings us empowerment also has a divine foundation within us. If we feel a need for the approval of others, we can look to self-empowerment. When we feel effectively engaged, doing what gives us joy, our energy naturally expands to include more of who we are. And magic flows synchronistically into our lives. Claim your alignment with the higher wisdom. Call forth divine action in all that you do. The magician is a tool of the light, a conduit for the work of spirit. A wise magician is spontaneous and transparent, allowing magic to come in rather than trying to control it or make it happen. A magician dances the dance of love through offering gifts of freedom to others. This is real magic. Freed from the need to use power to manipulate or control, a magician uses wisdom. to manifest liberation and love. The number for Ish is 14, which represents the mastery of worlds and realities. The color for Ish is translucent opalescence. We can close our eyes and see our dream coat. Don't be surprised if a certain color appears for your coat, your dream coat. This holds a great teaching for you. The multicolored iridescent dream coat represents the magician's multiplicity of specific energies and abilities. Opalescence symbolizes the magical interweaving of the higher resonances, as well as all the mysteries and multiplicities that are part of the grand illusion. In the larger pattern, all colors and forms are part of the greater harmony. If we wish to access the quality of Ish, we can focus on translucent opalescence or the iridescent multicolored dream coat, or perhaps this glyph, this solar frequency glyph, archetype card of Anish. It has that kind of that translucent color on it. Okay, so that's Ish, the white wizard Ish. Any questions about it? Any comments? I know that's a lot of information. That's okay. We'll be hearing it again. You don't have to sit down and memorize all that. Just feel it. Just get in tune with it. Just be part of it. Just get one with it if you can, as much as you can. Each day that we come across this Ish, in 20 days we'll see Ish again. We'll read about Ish again in exactly 20 days. Because there's 20 solar frequencies and they just keep repeating and repeating and repeating, cyclically like this. And so every time we come to Ish, we'll read a little more about it. We'll get a little more intimately acquainted with this energy so that it becomes like our best friend and we know all about it. Any questions, any comments, any concerns? Okay. Just as a
Question,
yes,
but I just wanted to say I really like doing this. I feel like I still am not fully there where I totally grasp it, but I just every time we do this, I just feel like really happy and stuff, and it just really is nice. So I know something is clicking, even if it's not totally,
something's happening.
So
Yes.
yeah, something's happening, even if I don't totally be like, oh yeah, I could understand this and explain it in great detail to somebody else. Something is happening to where something inside me is like, yes, this is awesome. So it just, I don't know. For some reason, it really just resonated. My heart's happy right now. So just not a question. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you for sharing. Please always share like that. And isn't it true that this makes us feel really good because, well, this is our natural thing. This is our real thing. This is our essence. This is bringing us back into alignment. So it's just going to keep making us feel better and better as we get more and more in alignment with it. It's so wonderful. Keep on keeping on, my dear. You're making wonderful progress. And it's not, we don't have to cram and study. We just have to get together and do this a little bit each day. It didn't take long, did it? Oh, a half hour, right? We're less, I think, even than a half hour. And we're in tune with the energies now. Now we know that today is a magical day, right? And a very powerfully magical day because it's in that center sweet spot of mystical power, right? Mystical power coming together with the magic of the wizard, real magic now, not this nonsense that the world's all wrapped up in, right? Real magic, real mystical power. Pretty well aligned energy for today. So, okay, if there are no further comments or questions, then we will take a look now, turn our attentions to our Guru's lesson. Doing on time? Good on time? Okay. So, yesterday, is there any questions about what we've read and gone over so far in this lesson 15? That is about habits, right? Good and bad habits is what we're talking about here. Any questions so far? We left off yesterday talking about environment and companions, right? In relation to our habits, right? Guru says that our environment and the people that we are around, our companions, has a very big effect on us, especially in the beginning of the spiritual path. Our little spirituality is just kind of like a little sprout trying to sprout out and grow. And we all know that those little sprouts are very delicate. If you step on it, it's dead, right? Once it gets big, it can take it. But when it's little, if you step on it, you've probably killed it. And so we want to kind of watch out in the beginning of our spirituality, spiritual path, spiritual journey, and try to avoid those things that might step on it and kill it. Right? So our environment is important. Guru says in the beginning, our environment is stronger than our will. We're developing a willpower that will be stronger than our environment, but not in the beginning. So in the beginning, we really have to avoid those places that we know are not conducive to our spiritual advancement. And unfortunately, this is a hard one for us to have to accept. We may have to let go of some people too. We may have to say, for my experience, let's use me, okay? Because I was the worst of the worst, okay? We can always use me for an example. Now, I'm never bragging. I'm just saying it's possible. I'm just proving it's possible. But in the beginning, I really was in bad shape. I was hanging around with all the wrong people, so to speak, right? People who were, and what I mean by the wrong people who were encouraging me to continue in my vices, And so I had to stop hanging out with them. I just had to, I said, I'm changing my life. And I'm not doing that anymore. They're like, come on, let's go get drunk. Don't worry about that stuff. Come on. Yeah, well, I stopped hanging out with those guys. Okay. Because I was going in this direction, they're going in that direction, and we're not going in the same direction. And if I stay with them, then I'm going to be going in the wrong direction. I'm going to go into the direction of sorrow and suffering. That's what we call the wrong direction, right? Sometimes we refer to it as evil, right? Sorrow and suffering, right? I don't want to go the sorrow and suffering way. I just couldn't do it anymore. So unfortunately, some of those old so-called friends, right? We're going to be getting a lesson on that here pretty soon from our. Oh no, we got that lesson. Wrong class. We already got this class on friends from our guru, talking about what real friends are. And didn't he say real friends do not encourage us in our wrongdoings, right? Drinking, drugging, ignoring God, being angry, being jealous, being frustrated, being wrapped up in material things. We're trying to change those habits. And if we have someone in our life they're unwilling to change, that's okay. We're not trying to change them. But we may have to kind of, see them a little less than we've been seeing them. And a little less, and a little less, and a little less until, they kind of went that way. And we're kind of going this way. Okay, and they're going this way. So we're not going the same way. It's a hard thing to do on the spiritual path. It isn't as though we don't like them anymore, or we hate them, or they're no good, or anything like that. It's just that they're not doing what we're doing, and what they're doing is kind of a distraction to what we're doing, and we can't really do the both. We've already talked about it, right? We can't hang on to all of our bad habits and at the same time cultivate good habits. And so that's why Guru's saying we're going to have to watch our environment. If it's not an environment that's conducive to spirituality, we may want to change our environment. Either move, get out of that environment or adapt that environment to how you need it to be, more spiritual. And we may have to watch who we're hanging out with, right? If they're constantly encouraging us to go away from God, they're probably not the ones we want to spend our time hanging out with. Guru says if you want to improve in spirituality, hang around people that are into that, and that will help you improve. So, after that, we are picking up with sense slavery. Anyone have any questions about anything so far, though? Before we go on.
I don't have a question. I have something random I wanted to mention.
Please do.
You had mentioned about if you like step on a flower, you're gonna kill it, and it made me think about yesterday when I got really upset when I saw a bug get run over by a car. And I feel really silly about it. And even my husband was like, why though? Like I saw this beetle. It was a really big beetle and it was trying to cross the road and I'm just sitting here watching it and I'm like, go beetle, go. And I'm in my car, so I can't do anything. And then I watched it get run over and I literally cried. I was so upset and I don't know why.
Well, I know why.
And
I know why.
I don't know.
I know why. You want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you're taking these lessons. You're waking up inside here. You're realizing that every single thing, especially if it's moving around, flying around, crawling around, there's life and there's intelligence in there. There's a little soul in there that's evolving along. Now we know that, right? We know the evolution of our soul, and we know it's not just a bug or even just a blade of grass. We know that God's consciousness is in there, evolving, having an adventure. And now we know you're much more connected to this idea. And so now you're really feeling this connection. This is an amazing thing. You didn't used to do that, right?
I did to an extent, but not like that strong, especially when I was a kid. I feel like it was more like that. Like I'd get upset when like other kids would like step on ants and stuff. I'd get really upset about it and I'd like push them off and be like, no, leave them alone, kind of person. But it's been a while since I felt like that really strongly about it. And it bothered me for a while where I just sat there and I'm like, nobody even knows. Like everyone's going on with their life. And I'm probably the only one on this earth that saw that bug and saw it get killed, and I'm feeling sad for it, And I don't know, it really kind of put me in a weird spot for a bit where I just was like, am I overreacting over this bug? Like, if it was in my house, I probably would have killed it. Like, why is it different now? Like, I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird in it. So I just wanted to mention it. It was something odd that I went through.
This is the reawakening process, my dear. You're just waking up to the truth of it all. You already had it when you were a child. The
I was thinking
process of
that I
living.
already had it if I
Yes,
was like this as a kid and then
yes.
it like stopped and now it's coming back, you know?
Yes, the process of life kind of wears us down, right? But it's in here. It's already in here. It's all in here. We just have to wake it up and get it going. And that's what we're doing here. And that's what's happening. That's why you're feeling it. And yes, I have to be honest, it's a little bit over when you're crying so hard because of the bug.
It wasn't so hard as much as it was like a tear or two, but my husband was like, "Why are you crying over that?" And he even mentioned if it was in the house, you would have had me kill it. And I'm like, well, probably, but I don't know. Maybe I would have told you to send it outside. I don't know. So it was just odd that I shed a tear or two over a random beetle that got run over in the road.
The change is coming in there. I see it. You'll see pretty soon you won't even be killing the bugs in the house. I keep cups handy because you never a paper cup
Yeah,
because you never know.
yeah.
We know
I
there's a
do
bee
that.
flying around in here somewhere, and I rescue him and bring him outside where he really would rather be.
I've done that with a few things, like a few little different kinds of bugs and stuff. Some of them I'm not quite there yet, like spiders and flies. I
How you
tend
doing?
to
How you doing with bats?
bats. Oh, I don't. I haven't had one of those,
No.
but I would definitely have let it go. I think they're cute, so I would have definitely have let it go. But it seems like with bugs, like any kind of beetle or anything that's not a fly or a spider, for months actually, I've been doing that. I hadn't really thought about it, but spiders and flies and stuff, they just kind of freak me out to the point where I'm just like, get it out of my face, and I end up killing it and stuff.
You're
But
getting there. You're getting there, my dear. You're
getting
progressing very
there.
nicely. Just last night in our class last night, we have this class in the evenings. And I put it on Facebook too. So if you want to go check it out on Facebook last night, guess what? During the class, a bat flew in. And I was dodging and
Oh my
ducking.
god.
He was trying to get on my head. I swear. He was like diving at me, trying to say hello. He was flying all around in here. Afterwards, we just got my blanket. I just swooped it over him and brought him outside.
Wow.
So, okay, so.
Yeah, sorry to be off topic. It's just something I wanted to
Oh,
share.
you're right on topic. And I'm so happy that you're sharing your progress with us. This is what inspires others. You know, so many people are looking for the solution and, well, they say it's not out there. Well, you are the proof that it is. Everyone, Hun Chun, right? Welcome. Everyone in this course, they're waking up to this now. Let's keep up the good work.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So we're going to pick up the lesson where we left off yesterday. We left off because this is our guru's instructions, right? We read the lesson through Monday all the way through without really giving it too much thought. Just read through it. Don't stop anywhere and get where you don't understand. So just read through. And then we go through bit by bit throughout the rest of the week. Yesterday we left off at sense slavery, right? Sense slavery. Guru's going to talk to us about sense slavery now. Guru says if you are a slave to your senses, you cannot be happy. Remember, that's what the whole course is about. living a happy, harmonious life, right? So if you're a slave to your senses, you cannot be happy, Guru says. If you are a master of your desires and appetites, you can be a really happy person. Ah, there we go. Now this is what we're looking for here. How can we be a really happy person? Guru says, if you overeat against your will, if you wish anything contrary to your conscience, if you are wrongly forced by your senses against the wish of your inner self, then you cannot be happy. People who are slaves to the senses find that their evil habits compel them to do things which will hurt them. Right? That's why we call them evil, right? Because they cause us pain and sorrow and suffering. Guru goes on to say that stubborn bad habits bludgeon your will every time it tries to take the lead and guide you or guide your thoughts to the kingdom of right action. The remedy lies in rescuing your willpower from the imprisoning power of the senses. Right? Guru says people who are slaves to the senses find their evil habits compel them to do things which hurt them. Right? How many people have you heard, oh, I got to quit smoking. I can't stand smoking. I can't do it. Or I got to quit drinking. I got to quit being mad all the time. I got to quit swearing all the time. Yet they can't seem to do it. It's because it's a stubborn habit. And it's taking away their joy. And it's compelling them to do something even though they don't want to do it. Any questions about it? Okay, well then Guru goes on to say almost every soul is a prisoner of the senses. Almost every soul is a prisoner of the senses. The soul's attention is lured away from the inner kingdom of the medulla oblongata, the spiritual eye, and the spinal plexus to the outer regions of body, where greed, temptation, and attachment have their stronghold. The devotee who wants to lead king or queen soul away from the misery-making slums of the senses finds that they cannot do so without a severe clash between the lurking robbers of sense attachment and the soul's divine soldiers of wisdom and self-control. Isn't it right? They say, I want to quit smoking. But something says, no, smoke, smoke. And they're just fighting inside. Right? It's like there's a war going on in there, a battle going on inside of you between this desire to be good and do what's good for you and this desire to, well, do things that are not so good for you out of the compulsion of habit. We're going to have to get self-control. We're going to learn how. Guru's going to show us and teach us. Any questions? I like the way Guru talks. The devotee who wants to lead king or queen soul. Right? Your soul is the real king here, or queen. I'd like to say ruler. All right? And if we can't be in charge, if the soul can't be in charge, then the ego's in charge. And then misery. Guru now is going to talk about evil habits cannot hold one forever, though. Well, there's some good news, right? Evil habits, right? Evil habits are just the habits that bring sorrow and suffering. It's not some scary force that's going to get you. Okay, we're way past that silliness. We understand that evil is really just that which is causing us sorrow and suffering, the results of sorrow and suffering. So, good news, evil can't keep you forever. Guru says you must cure yourself of evil habits by cauterizing them with the opposite good habit. Guru's going to teach us how to do it now. How do we get rid of a habit? Right? Is there nothing more frustrating than somebody saying, well, just quit smoking, just quit drinking, just quit being angry, just quit being jealous, just stop it? Well, it doesn't work that way. Okay? We're going to have to do something. And Guru says what? Replace the bad habit with the opposite good habit. Guru's very sensible, very practical. These teachings work because of that sensible practicalness. Guru goes on to give us an example. He says, for instance, if you have a bad habit of telling lies and by so doing have lost many friends, Guru says start the opposite good habit of telling the truth. Guru also, this is important, okay? Guru says it takes time to form either a good or a bad habit. It is difficult for a bad person to be good or for a good person to be bad. Yet, remember that once you become good, it will be natural and easy for you to be good. Likewise, if you cultivate bad habits or evil habits, you will be compelled eventually to be evil or bad in spite of your desires. And you then will have to pray to God and say, God, my spirit is willing, but my flesh is weak. Right? We're going to have to ask God for help, Guru says. That is why it is worthwhile to cultivate the habit of being good and happy. People seeking happiness must avoid the influence of bad habits, which lead to evil actions. Evil actions produce misery sooner or later. That's what we mean by evil. Evil means misery producing. Guru says that misery corrodes the body, mind, and soul like a burning acid and cannot be endured forever. Maybe Guru said even cannot be endured long. Well, that's an opinion. What's long? A minute of sorrow and suffering is long to me. It can't be endured forever. Guru says, I do not believe that any human being really means to be evil. The criminal does wrong because there is no realization deep in their conscience of the true joy of right living. A person is unable to see how they hurt themselves through their own errors. They would not want to commit error if they could really understand the misery their errors will bring. The sinner, the sin of all sins is ignorance, Guru says. That is why Yahshua said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. If the criminal could compare their evil ways with the right way of living, by actual experience, would they still continue to follow evil? No. We are all seeking happiness. Isn't this true? Isn't that the truth, right? Every one of us, every action that everyone has anywhere in the world has only one purpose: to remove sorrow and suffering so that they can have happiness, so that they can be in perpetual joy, ever new joy. That's what we're all seeking with every action that we have. Everyone in the whole world, they're all seeking that joy. Well, that's because that joy is God. That's our source. And everyone doesn't realize it, but that's what they're seeking. The removal of suffering so that they can just have joy. Everyone's doing it. Now, they might be making a mistake. They might think, oh, robbing this bank is going to give me a lot of money, and I'm going to have a lot of joy. They don't have much joy while they're sitting in prison, though, do they? See, that joy, it lied. It was a liar. It said, oh, you're going to have so much joy when you get this money, and no, you just ended up in prison. No joy. Guru goes on to, any questions about it? Get a question, go right ahead, interrupt me. That's what I'm here for. Guru goes on to say, and this refreshes my heart. When I read this the first time, I was like, whew, I thought I was lost. Now I know I'm not lost. Guru says, evil cannot keep people under the influence of error forever because they are made in the image of God. Ta-da! Thank you, God. Guru goes on to say, though, that in the beginning the spiritual aspirant finds their soldiers of discrimination, guided by the desire to be good. And then later, as the spiritual aspirant meditates longer and prays ardently for inner help, they find that a veteran occult general, which is the calm conviction of inborn intuition or awakening inner light, emerges from their subconscious to guide the forces of discrimination. The emergence of this awakening inner light is the result of good habits of the past. Right? Remember, I said that you have a lot of good karma. You wouldn't be here in this course if you didn't have a lot of good karma. That's why we don't have a lot of people in the class. You have to have a certain level of development to even be able to be here, because this is going to get you free. And if you haven't developed that in past lives and this life, you won't even have any interest in any of it. So you have. That's why this is in your heart now. Because for many incarnations you've been doing this. Now you're getting down to really getting connected to Source. Remember in the beginning we talked about how when we first get on the spiritual path, right? God sends us books and teachers and stuff to help us. But if we continue, if we keep saying, God, that's not enough, I don't want to just read about it, I need to live it. Where are you? Come now. Throwing the books aside. Then God says, oh, well, I'm going to have to send you a guru now, because now you're serious about getting out, right? And you've been doing this for many lives. You've been working on this. And that's why you're here now in this course with just a few of us. Because, well, For some reason, if the karma's not right, no matter how you try, no matter what you do, you won't get in this course. You can't. Something will come up. Oops, you can't do it. Oh, well, karma's not there yet, is what it means. Okay? You're going to have to keep working on it. Might take either a few more days, few more years, few more weeks, few more lives. It's up to you. If you're ready now and you're going to focus on it now, it's going to start happening for you now, like it is for Kalahuni Mish and for Hun Chun here today. They're very diligent. They show up. They're getting progress. So, any questions, any comments, any concerns? We're going to stop here for a minute, for a little bit, or till tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll pick back up where we're going to cultivate spiritual habits. Right? As I said before, Guru doesn't just say, go fix your habits. Guru's going to tell us how, why, when, where, and then give us all the tricks to do it so that we can do it, so that we will be successful, so that we will succeed. Guaranteed. That's what we're loving about these teachings. It's a sure thing. If we do it, it's going to work. If we don't do it, well, of course, it's not going to work. Common sense. Right? Any questions? Nothing? Okay. Magnificent. Then let's wrap up our day. Our time is coming to a close here. We have to get on with our day. Remember, we're householder yogis, right? We can't say, oh, gee, sorry, boss, I'm late for work today because, I was meditating too long. No way. Inexcusable. God and Guru, they don't accept excuses, right? You should be on to work on time, right? We can't use the excuse of, oh, I was with God. It doesn't go the other way either. We can't say, sorry, I can't go to work. I have to spend all my time with God. We're householder yogis. We're balancing our life. Okay? We don't miss a step with our family, with our job, with our household, our chores. We don't miss a step. And at the same time, we're on our sadhana. First thing every morning, last thing every night. Every chance we get, we dive into spirit. Developing the habit of being connected with Source. Once it's a habit, it'll be easy. Okay, then, let's wrap up our day as we usually do with a little bit of wisdom from our Guru, from this spiritual diary, where in this chapter he's talking about meditation, right? And this comes from the Self-Realization magazine, right? I always talk about this magazine. I love it. Well, I love the old one. I don't know what the new one's like. I heard they've changed it. Now there's only one magazine a year. Kind of disappointing to me. There used to be 4 magazines every year, and they used to come with a beautiful CD to listen to a wonderful talk from one of the either nuns or one of the monks at Mother Center. Usually someone who's either very advanced in the teaching or someone who's actually a direct disciple from Guru. So today's quote, coming from that magazine from our Guru about meditation, Guru says, when you seek God, make even a short meditation so intense that it will seem that you have spent hours with God. Right? Remember, Guru said it's not so important about how long you meditate. What's really important is how deep you meditate. Right? You hear people saying you have to meditate for an hour or something like this. Well, if you have to, okay, nothing wrong with it. Guru says it's about going deep though. And as you keep practicing this, you'll find that you can go deep very quickly. And then Guru says it's about going deep and then expanding the time of in that depth of bliss. So that's what's important. It's the depth, not the length of time. Eventually, you'll be able to do it instantly. You'll sit down and within an instant from practicing it every morning and every night, it'll be just like tying your shoes. You'll close your eyes, you'll put your attention here, and you'll be there. It'll be done that quick. But it takes practice. Wonderful little tidbit of wisdom to take with us throughout the day. Don't forget your weekly affirmations. Keep repeating it. Thank you, everyone. God bless us all. Namaste and Lakach Jayom Guru. Have a great day, you guys. Get on out there and enjoy the day. Remember, the day was made for you. You were not made for the day. The day is yours. Take it. Be an empowered empath. Namaste and Lakach Jayom Guru. Bye now.
Thank you so much. Namaste.